Hi there, welcome, bienvenue to today's episode of Once to Watch. My name is Priska, your host, and in case you're wondering why I am speaking in tongues, it's because I have the honor, the privilege to be with an amazing actor, the creme de la creme of Ugandan cinema, of Afro cinema, and heck, even global cinema. She has starred in a couple of movies and a couple of TV shows. She has been on Chadala, she's been on Koja, she's been on Sanyu, she's been on Katera of the Punishment Island, which is a personal favorite of mine, and she has been nominated and has won multiple accolades in the space. Now, you best be ready because today's episode has extreme scenes of fangirling. Miss Tracy Kababiito, Agnes, welcome.
That part. My mom is going to be so proud of you.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to Once to Watch.
Thank you, Priska. Thank you for having me here.
It's nice to have you on.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. It's been such a long time.
It's been like 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. And you look great and you're doing great work. Well done.
You.
Well done.
You make me blush.
And thanks for the intro. Make me sound larger than life.
But you are larger than life, and you are.
Life is so vast, but like I'm just another small thing that's a part of life, with big dreams and ambitions and a big heart. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, you're about to eat my intro. Okay, so acting. How did you get started in this space? Has it always been your first love? Is it something when you're young, you're like, when I grow up, I want to be an actress? Tell us about that. How did you get in?
Acting. Yes, it is my first love. It's funny you ask this question because one time I was doing these 75 questions where you're asked to reflect on your first love. And I was kind of hoping it would be a boy, but no. Really, I know it sounds like a cliche, but my first love was acting. I loved acting as a child. I think the first time I ever did anything on stage, I was 7. 7 or 8, within the age. And I thought, oh, this is so fun and I like this thing, you know, it makes me happy. And I was in a girls' Catholic school, so I was playing like different characters. Sometimes I was playing a boy, sometimes I was playing a girl, and sometimes I was playing Cinderella, you know. Anyway, I never thought I would become an actor, really. It's just one of those things where you think, I'm good at this thing, but I don't want to do it as like a career.
As a profession.
No. I never imagined that because I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My father is a grand entrepreneur. So in my mind, I was thinking, I also don't want to be like an entrepreneur in that sense, doing what he does, but I want to be maybe like a lawyer. So I want to walk into a room and I want people to be intimidated by me. That was my reason for being a lawyer, not to actually
do like to take the air out of the room.
Yes, literally. I like this. It's definitely airs and graces that you know lawyers carry around themselves, and I thought I kind of like that. You know, they seem like sophisticated people, very intellectual. You know,
but then you did mass comm.
And then, that's when I realized, oh, hey, it's not just about the airs and the graces. You actually have to walk the talk and you have to do the work. And I thought, I don't want to do the work. First of all, I was asking people who were already in the field and they told me, are you ready? Like, are you ready? You're going to do 4 years of school, then go on, and then do LDC. But even before I made that choice, I had applied for a film school. So when that didn't happen, obviously I was still looking at law, and then I said, you know what, the other thing that's close to film is mass communication. So I did communication and media studies, and I have no regrets about it, because as you already know, we had a section that dealt with film, and I like that. And
you like that? And I think it was a good choice. It's very diverse, like mass comm is really diverse. But
it is.
I'm glad you somehow found your way into the filming space, because otherwise you'd have missed out on this great, this great talent that you have. So you don't have any formal training in the film side?
Now I do.
So you've trained
now
along
I do.
the way?
Now I do. Okay. When I first got into the industry, I didn't have any formal training. All I had was passion, faith, and a lot of determination to knock people off their heels. and I did that.
And you did. I mean,
yeah, and I'm super proud of that, and super humbled at the same time, because I had a lot to learn in those first phases. It's not my greatest work, but it's my child. It's my child. It's the work that most people know me for.
Yeah.
So I'm super grateful for everything I learned in that space. Yeah.
You know, you were talking about how, you know, you've knocked us off our feet and things like that. And I remember Katera, and I'm thinking, when I watched it, you know, while I was prepping for this interview and all, and it was so good, and it was so good, and you were completely immersed in this character, and I was like, where's Tracy? Where does Tracy end, and where does Katera start? And I couldn't tell, because you did it so well. So how do you get yourself to be so immersed in a character and to own it and make it so believable? Apart from the formal training, how do you get into a character?
It's blending the stuff of your spiritual, emotional being and the technical work. If you're blending this as an actor, you already know what you need to know about being an actor, about being a good actor. You have to be willing, you have to be flexible, you have to be patient, you have to be present in every moment. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to just conquer everything that comes at you. You have to be willing to read your scripts over and over again. I mean, I definitely think that for you to be able to make something second nature to you, you have to keep doing it over and over again. So it doesn't sound, unreal. So it doesn't sound like you're just acting. Yeah, but you're living and you're being that person. So I'm also doing research, because I mean, although Katera is a fictional character, it's a real story. The women who went through these things. So you find articles online, newspaper articles, articles from foundations that perhaps were fighting against things like this at the time. So you see how all these things can tie into your character. Then you sink deeper and deeper and deeper. Then of course you create with your imagination. Yeah, so they've given you a script and now you're thinking, how best can I portray this emotion? You know? And then you rehearse, and then you work with your director, you work with fellow actors, because film has to be collaborative. If you're not collaborative, if you're not a person who works well with a team, then this is not the industry for you. Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like you asked me, did you envision being an actor? I thought, this is something I can do when I just wake from my sleep, you know? Someone will call me on a set, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's go through the rehearsals, let's go through the script. But it has its hard days.
Okay, let's talk about that.
It has its difficult days, but yeah, I do love it.
You love it?
I do love film. Film has taught me so much, probably more than I ever learnt in class.
The real life.
I like to think of it as a school of experience. One, I get to learn so much about people. I get to empathize with people, because every time you become another character, what you're really doing is, people say that cliche saying, have you walked in my shoes? You should try walking in my shoes. That's literally what actors do. I don't know any other people who actually live the lives of other people, who take away from themselves and become other human beings. That's not an easy thing to do, because you're always looking at, oh, it's me, life is happening to me. Life is happening for everyone. That information is a little too late now. My sister is going to kill me. I can't keep it.
We are not authorized to carry out abortions.
I'm as good as dead.
And speaking of, you have to sort of like lose yourself into this, you have to become someone else. But does that not risk you losing yourself? Is there that fear that...
It is possible. It's happened before. I have lost myself in a character before. It got to a point where I felt like I was leaving with different people within me. I mean, of course, as an actor, actors have multiple people within them. So, but then now it was Tracy against this person. Let me not speak very vaguely. When I left my job with Sanyu, I struggled a lot with that. This is a project I had spent so much time on. I had done so much work there. I had, Tracy was in the back. She took a back seat and let Sanyu drive, you know. But then when it came down to decisions that Tracy needed to make, Sanyu was like, you know, she was sipping in there. She's sitting there, she's like, no, it's okay, just let it be. And I'm thinking, no, it's not, no, I'm not going to let it be. This is, so it was like a conflict. It's difficult. And then for you to have to strip that character completely is a whole other thing. It's an ordeal. It's, what we do is mental, what we do is physical. What we do is, you're leaving as a non-Priska. So if I need to become you, I need to know the things that you do. Are you the kind of person who maybe doesn't like letting your hair down completely? What are those things about you that make you a nun? Because we are not the same human beings. We're the same, but we're not the same. Do you get what I mean? Yeah.
So how were you able to separate yourself then from, like, I'm sure there's actors who are going to watch this and they're probably struggling with this, or they're wondering, how do I separate myself from the fictional character and then me? How do you do that?
You have to learn how to do it. Now more than ever, although I've always been a very playful person, now more than ever, I create time to play. I create time to remind me that this is work that I'm doing. Although I am being this person when the cameras roll, this is not who I am. This is someone I need to live here because it's work, you know? Just like you go to work and then maybe you decide, those were my duties for the day, so now it's time to go to rest as a non-Priska, separate from URA, you know? It's hard, it's proper difficult. You have to find methods to work around it. If it means, I don't know, going dancing with your friends, something that Tracy likes or something that Priska likes, you do those things just to remind you.
To be in touch, to bring back.
But it's not always that easy. I would honestly love to take you deeper into like some of the things that we do as artists to snap out of that. But I'd have to...
There's not enough time? Oh, God. There's always another time.
Oh,
it's me. Here to stay. Okay. So you have starred in a couple of films, but then I did some digging and I've seen that you've starred in theatre. I always think that theatre and film are very different. What are your thoughts? Which ones do you enjoy? Okay, you probably enjoy film, but what's your experience in theatre and what's your experience in film?
You're not wrong. The two are different, but they're one and the same.
Okay.
What's required is, the difference is what's required in the technique, sorry. So what's required in the technique for theatre is just do it all. Like leave no crumb on the table. Like be as vast as you can be. There's no limitations with theatre. With theatre, it's a one-take thing. So for you to do theatre, it's just like do this once and we're not rolling again, darling. That was the take.
We're not editing, we're not cutting.
That was the take, baby. So
you either get it or you get it.
Yeah, you get it or you get it, exactly. And that's why when people who do theatre come into when they cross over into film, most of them are really great. If they know how to, like, you know, tone it down for the film, they are good because the discipline the theatre requires, the amount of time that you put in, like, to put a production together. I have so much respect for people who do theatre all the time. I think so much is taught to you in that space as opposed to, you know, film. You know, film is a bit chilled out, you know, but it's also not as easy, but theatre is definitely harder.
More intense.
It's definitely harder. Okay.
But if you had to pick, you'd still pick film?
I can't say for sure. I can't say who I would choose, but I like both experiences.
Like both.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And speaking of your films, what are some, which ones would you say, these are my top picks, like I did this and I felt like I was who I think I am when you did those? Yeah, I like to ask artists this question because I feel like it gives you understand the artist a little bit better when they tell you maybe this is my favorite part.
You're being unfair to my children. You're being unfair to my children. I've given my children
all your babies
all the love that I can give them for that moment that I can give them. Like,
Yeah.
Whatever point I was at in my life, I gave all my children the same.
Aw.
So it's hard for me to pick like a project. But a project that I've done that not so many people talk about is the koja. Are you counting spoons of sugar? Because this girl can't leave like this. I kind of hoped you'd get me that car you promised. Excuse me. The reason I liked that I liked that project one because the script was good, but also the character was something I had envisioned playing before.
Oh.
She's just a university girl trying to make it, and the only way she's trying to make it is by being with the professors, you know. She's sleeping with a professor. She's so messy, then she goes ahead and tries to sleep with the therapist that's supposed to help them. Yeah, she's trying to sleep with him, and he's like, hey, this is my friend, you know, just keep it in line. She's very playful. At the same time, you can see that she has her own, her own hidden insecurities. She's also just trying to navigate this life thing. She's so young, and for crying out loud, what's a professor doing sleeping with a young girl? You know,
You
it's
should
just,
know better.
I just loved playing that character, but I've loved all of them. But since you asked, that's a project people don't talk about that I like
That
very
you
much.
really liked.
Yeah.
Okay. I will definitely watch that. And how do you pick your scripts? Because you're talking about you like this script. How do you pick your script? Because I'm sure the scripts you get and you're like, I'm not doing this. Not for anything, not for the money in the world. But yeah, how do you go about that?
What's the story?
A storyline.
What's
very
the story?
important. Okay.
Like, what are we telling here? Because there's you putting your name down for the money. I try not to do jobs when I'm like at a point in my life when I'm desperate, and this goes out to any artist really. If you're doing work at a desperate point, believe me, the work is going to look desperate. It's going to look like you're just doing the job, you know, for the check. So I look out for the story. I look out for the importance of my character. Like, why did this writer write about this particular character? What is she bringing that's unique to the story? What's her conflict? What does she want? I look at all those things. So
Okay.
yeah.
So the storyline and the character is very important.
Yes. Look at a story like Katera. I would have never passed off that, even if it came much later on in my life. It's a powerful story.
It was powerful.
Yeah, I want to be a part of stories like that. I want to be a part of stories that allow people to feel like they're seen, you know? A story that allows people to think about where we've come from and what does this say about where we're going? Are there things that are still, you know, underlying in our community today, in present day situation? Are there things that we could still fix that, you know, somehow the society has managed to cover up and make, you know, we've now polished them and they're not packaged properly, so they're not so horrendous, but they still are, you know.
Okay. And you worked on that project with Lukman Ali.
Yes.
And where was that like working with him? He's really good at what he does.
Lukman loves the work. Now, this is a person who does the work and loves the work.
Oh, wow.
I like that he already knows what he wants to do even before he gets you on a project. So the first time you have a meeting with him, he's talking to you about the project, but you can tell he already has a vision in his mind. This is what I envision the film looking like. Even when you get his script, you're able to see that he kind of has most of his shots laid out.
Oh, wow.
So I can tell that he loves what he does, and he is great at what he does, you know? That's what makes him stand out in the industry today. Yeah, so he knows his shots, he knows this is what I want, this is what will look great, you know? And that's good.
I'm sure that it's a joy working with someone like that.
Yeah.
And who else in the film space do you look at and you're like, I really wish I could work with this person? Do you have someone like that?
Like actors?
Actors, creators, directors, anyone in the space. I mean, I would want to work with David Cameron. Okay, I love his films, but like anyone like that, you look at them and you're like,
wow. Okay, I'd love to work with Viola.
Davis?
Yes. Lashana Lynch, Taraji, Lupita Nyong'o. I'm only going to give you actors. I won't tell you about my directors, so you go and scout them and you're like, what does she like about this director?
And speaking of that, why Lupita, for example?
Lupita.
What is it about her or this women Taraji? I know they're all black women, strong black women.
Oh,
But beyond that.
this is not also about
But-
skin. I like Natalie Portman.
Oh,
She's amazing.
She's
I
good.
like Natalie.
I liked her in the Black Swan.
I did too.
Oh.
I did too. So I think Natalie's great.
Yeah, she is.
I could think of others, but yeah, I like my own also. I like, yeah.
Okay. But what is it about them? Is it the ethic? Is it? Oh, it's just the art. I don't know.
I'll just pick one person.
Okay.
I'll pick Taraji. I think Taraji is a bold person, and I've seen people now, like people who are new to Taraji P. Henson, know about the Hidden Figures and all those nice things she's done, or what's that show, Empire.
She has the color purple, I think.
Yeah,
it's called. Yeah.
I've not seen it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I like about Taraji is I saw her in Baby Boy. This is a film from
Like way
back.
back, the Stone Age.
Way back, not Stone Age, but like way back. If we're looking back, that's so many years ago. And even then, she like committed to the work, and she did what she had to do in that role. And for me to watch her grow and then do like even bigger roles, it's insanely beautiful. I love to see how she sits in, like the character she had in Hidden Figures. In comparison to Baby Boy, Taraji she's gold. She's, in fact, gold has a price. No, it's, I like that, and I like that she's empathetic. I can tell from just the way that she approaches situations in her life. She's not just thinking about herself, but you know, she's thinking about the person who comes after her. And I want to be able to do that. Viola Davis, I can tell from just like the things that she puts out or the things that she says, I can tell she's also a very empathetic person. I happened to read her book and I thought, Finding Me, for someone to have gone through all that and then still manage to be so loving, so compassionate, it's amazing. And it makes them human, you know?
Yeah.
It allows you to see them, it allows you to see their stories, and I think that's beautiful.
And you know, you talked about how Taraji and Viola, you see them for who they are, like they're human. When you're in this space, you're an actor, you're in the creative space, there's a lot of glitz and glamour, and then there's a lot of cameras and things like that. How do you stay so grounded? Because you are very grounded. Honestly, like
Thank you.
I was like Tracy from school and Tracy now.
Right.
Same person, right? Yeah, like you still have that warmth, and you know, like the cameras have not blinded you. So how do you do that? And how can other actors watching you be able to do that?
Well, I'm surprised. You know what? When you say Tracy from school, I thought I was warm, but I thought you were going to talk about how stubborn I was.
But you were really stubborn. Like you were very playful, more playful.
Oh my God! Anyway, how I managed to stay grounded. One, because we spend all our time in front of cameras, I don't want to see any cameras in my face when I'm not working.
No.
I want to be a normal human being. Like if you see me at a mall and perhaps that day I'm not looking as glamorous as you expect me to look, hey, I'm just a human being like you. I don't like it when people put me on a pedestal. So I'm always trying to live a normal life. This is where I hang out. My friend is a manager here. This place is the Drop. It's like my home.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it's
Very
like my
artsy.
home. And they have like a co-working space, so sometimes I just come here, do my work as well. I meditate. That's also something that keeps me grounded. I've had to learn the hard way that if you don't have things that keep you grounded, you're going to lose yourself, you know.
That's true.
All this stuff can get to your head, honestly. It can get to your head and now you start thinking, oh, I'm so big. You know, you get into trouble and you're thinking, do you know who I am? Do you know? No, I don't know who you are and I don't care. You're going to jail. You know? So you have to find things that remind you to be human. Stay connected to human beings. My family. There's a time I lost touch of that, you know. I used to love working so much. I still do. But there was a time when my work defined me. Yeah. Like if I wasn't working, I felt like I'm not contributing anything to society. And I'd feel useless. But it's not the case. Like, you could still be useful in other ways. You don't have to always be in a rat race and working on stuff. You can do the simplest things, the simplest work. I mean, pick up bottles in your community or go and visit people somewhere who need help from you. I don't know, you just find something to do that reminds you to be a human being.
Okay.
Yeah.
But always be a human being and
Always.